Smoke hangs thick on the olive trees, like ghosts whispering through Sicilian breeze. The sun don't shine the way it used to, not since the blood soaked through the virtue. Stone steps where I first kissed her hand now echo boots of a trader's stand. They say the land remembers pain, and Sicily, she cries in flame. Mama prayed with rosary beads while I dealt war behind vineyards. Indeed, she said, Giovanni, you build with sin, you'll find no God when you begin. But I built it anyway, tall and proud, from Corleone to New York crowds. And now it crumbles, name by name, a legacy doused in unholy flame. Smoke over Sicily, rising slow, where honor died a long time ago. No saints left in the family tree, just ghosts in suits and memory. Smoke over Sicily, bitter and white, where the old Don watched his blood divide days. I kissed her grave in '89, my Bella Vita, lost in time. She said, leave it all before it's too late. But men like me, we marry fate. They sang her song with mandolins while I buried love beneath my sins. Now every cello sounds like pain, every vineyard holds her name. I gave them rules: no drugs, no women, no children. Then came greed, and cousins turned lions. The silence didn't protect us, it buried us. My sons wear suits, but not my pride. They trade their roots for the neon side. I built an empire from soil and fear. They tweet in clubs and disappear. They call me old, a relic, a ghost, but I remember every face I lost, every brother who fell for this code. Now their names ride that mountain road. Smoke over Sicily, black as wine, where blood runs slow through ancient spines. The dawn is dying, but no one weeps, just church bells toll in crooked beats. Smoke over Sicily, rising above, a requiem for death and love. There's a chapel near the lemon trees where I laid down arms on wounded knees. I asked the priest if God would stay. He turned his back and walked away. The streets I ruled are filled with rust, my name engraved but turned to dust. No one fears what time forgets, no one honors quiet debts. You think silence is power, but silence was my killer. I buried more in hush than I ever did with triggers. I still light cigars at dusk, staring west where life feels just. The sea rolls in like borrowed breath, each wave hums songs of fate and death. My cane taps stone like ticking clocks, each step a prayer on broken rocks. If God still listens in Sicilian hills, then let him weigh what blood fulfills. kings die slow and no one cries. Tonight I burn the final scroll of names, of deals, of every soul. I built a kingdom I couldn't save, now only shadows kiss my grave. Let them dance in neon halls while I rest beneath stone walls. Just tell them this before you flee: the last real Don died in Sicily. The end of power, the end of wills. Bury me in the hills, not with a crown, but with the names I couldn't save. Tell them I was never a saint, but I never broke the rules until the rules broke me. A fedora rests where my brother fell, still smells of smoke, perfume and hell. The brim stained red with yesterday's war. He wore it proud, now he wears it no more. The alley's wet with city breath, midnight's eyes bear silent death. A match struck gold in a pool of grime, lit my smoke and lit the time. He said they'll come when the ink runs dry, and lawyer fades where dollars lie. But I held that brim like a sacred vow, laid it on the bar like a broken brow. Ashes fell from a hand once sure, now trembles under what I endured. Every ghost wears pinstripes now, and whispers from the back somehow. Ashes on the fedora, stories in the crease, gunpowder sermons that never find peace. This hat saw man become myth and stain, caught every whisper of glory and pain. Ashes on the fedora, falling slow from men just to let go. He gave me that hat at 17, said respect ain't loud, it's in how you lean. Slick words, sharper shoes, deals in alleys, power moves. Now it's crushed beneath the weight I bear, smoke and shame in the same cold air. I've buried brothers in velvet dirt, and each goodbye makes the silence hurt. I never took it off, not for weddings, not for funerals. Even when the heat was on, that hat stayed firm. Now it lays there, covered in ashes, like it's finally telling me it's over. I see him smiling in old black frame. Before blood, before the blame. We rule the nights like gods on loan. Now I drink alone by a marble stone. The last job went sideways fast. A handshake turned into a body cast. I ran, but guilt don't move. It stays in rooms you once approved. Ashes on the fedora, dreams gone still, love and lies all caught in a whip. This brim once bowed to lords and laws, now breaks under fate's fatal claws. Ashes on the fedora, fading black, a crown for kings who won't come back. They found me weeping in a chapel pew, had it head down, coat soaked through. The priest said, son, take off your pride. I said, that's all I got since my bloodline died. My reflection don't meet my eyes. It knows too well where honor lies. Not in money, not in name, but in the ashes and the blame. He wore it like armor. He died in style, but style don't stop bullets. It just makes the obituary poetic, and the ashes keep falling. Now the city's quiet like a loaded prayer. You feel the eyes, but no one's there. I set that hat on the windowsill, hoping time might finally stand still. It holds more weight than any crown, a funeral song in hand-me-downs. They'll write of me in caution tales, but the hat will speak where memory fails. While smoke recalls our better days. Ashes on the fedora, soft and low, from men like me who never loco.
He wore it straight, never tilted, said it show respect. Funny thing is, that hat knew more secrets than I ever told. Now it just sits there, watching the ashes fall.
Leather boots on frozen stone, midnight crawls, I walk alone. City's heart don't beat no more, just sirens cry behind steel doors. A shadow danced beneath the bridge, left a toothpick and a crimson smidge. I tip my hat and tuck the steel. Some wounds never close, they just learn to kneel. I wear my silence like a tailored suit, paint polished sharp in worn out boots. The barrel sleeps beneath my coat, next to memories I never wrote. Cold wind whispers names I knew, each one gone, most by what I do. I say no prayers, but I still ain't true, and hell don't care what saints pursue. Cold streets, warm revolvers, truth gets buried where the smoke gets darker. No mercy here, no heart to barter, just cold streets and warm revolvers. I met a girl who smelled like war, with danger painted in every pore. She asked if bullets fear the night. I smiled and said, they sleep just right. We shared a bed, a drink, a sin. She left before the guilt came in. Now all I keep is her perfume ghost and the echo of what I lost the most. The street don't cry when you bleed on it. It just keeps going, like a sermon with no preacher, like a deal made after midnight. You either own the dark, or it owns you. I lit a cigarette with a guilty flame, watch smoke climb like a widow's name. The alley knows more than most confess. It's where love dies in a wedding dress. I used to hope, now I just plan for backstabs, setups, and contraband. Some folks hustle, some folks pray. I pull triggers and walk away. Cold streets, warm revolvers, loaded dreams, and paid off martyrs. No heaven here, just darker starters on cold streets with warm revolvers. The Don said trust is a fool's reward, so I kept my circle tight and sore. Every friend's a maybe shot, every deal's a ticking plot. I write my will in barroom smoke, with hands that shook but never broke. My jacket hides the holy truth. You don't need God, just steady proof. She kissed me once, said I tasted like the end of something. Told her I was born ending things. You don't get clean in a city like this, you just get colder. Fire when cold streets test what you require. Cold streets, warm revolvers, history etched on dead men's offers, forgiveness lost, redemption harder on for the cause, before revenge became my bride, before the guilt refused to hide. If you see me down the line, in some dark room past borrowed time, don't say my name, don't speak my crime, just nod and step out of line. Say cold streets, warm revolvers, don't love no man, just make him harder. You lose yourself to keep your armor in cold streets with warm revolvers. Street lights flicker like a dying man's prayer. Footsteps echo in the midnight air. Leather coat, steel nerves, heavy hands. I shake on deals with blood-soaked plans. Cigar smoke rising like a ghost from the past. Cash in the briefcase, future fading fast. She said, don't look back, I did anyway. Now I pay the price every goddamn day. Midnight deals and dirty money, in a world where nothing's funny. We trade our souls for power and pride, but we all die cold on the darker side. Yeah, we all die cold on the darker side. Clock ticks slow in the devil's lounge. Whiskey whispers truths I can't drown. The boss lights a smoke, nods with a grin. Another job done, another grave sin. Steel in my pocket, sins in my mind. Betrayal's just business in this crooked grind. I used to pray to God, now I talk to my gun. 'Cause in this city, saints don't run. And then I see their faces in my dreams. Every mark, every scream, the guilt's a chain I drag behind. But freedom, that bitch ain't mine. Green, soaked in red. Friends shake hands, then wind up dead. She told me leave this life a lose your soul. But I was already buried in a godless role. This ain't about riches, it's about respect. In the underworld, your word's the check. I bought silence, I've rented time, but I can't bribe death with dollar signs. Midnight deals and dirty money. Love turns bitter, life turns bloody. I lived my dreams and watched them burn. And every loss I never learned, still waiting for peace I'll never earn. Velvet gloves, but iron fists. Kisses that cut deeper than fists. The courtroom's empty, the bar's alive. The priest stopped praying when the wolves arrived. I walk alone, ghosts on my trail. Each footstep writes a bloodstained tale. Mama said, son, you were born to fight, but she didn't know I'd fight all night. We did it for the family, for the name. But now the name don't mean a damn thing if you're just a shadow walking in shame. Late night sirens sing me to sleep. Crimes I've sown, now roots run deep. Dirty money's got a dirty soul, but clean hands don't survive this role. Cold gold cufflinks on a dead man's sleeve. They'll bury me rich, but I still won't leave. 'Cause the street remembers, the silence speaks. Every sin I've earned, every secret it keeps. Midnight deals and dirty money. Buy your time, but not your honey. Your love won't wait, your truth won't lie. You can't sell hope when your soul's run dry. And the blues still plays when gangsters die. We all walk down alleys that echo back our names. Some of us just don't walk out again. Smoke curls up like a whispered lie. Gunmetal glint beneath my eye. City's hushing like it knows what's next. Just cigars, crosshairs, and quiet regrets. The glass is neat, the past is neat. Both burn slow, both bittersweet. I've got names I carved in steel, and promises I failed to feel. The night moves like an unmarked car. Shadow truths where the angels are.
I've lit more cigars than birthday cakes, buried more love than a heart can fake. My coat still reeks of sins and rain, each button stitched with someone's pain, and the silence always knows my stare. Cold steel breathing where my guilt slept. Cigars, crosshairs, and quiet regrets. In the mirror, it's a man he forgets, pulling triggers in the name of death. A soul in the dark, too tired to sweat. Cigars, crosshairs, and soft silhouette, where memories aim and never forget. He was my friend till the contract came. Now I sip bourbon with a hollow name. Told myself it's just a job, but God don't bless no hired mob. I saw his eyes right before he fell, and something in me cracked like hell. I lit a smoke and looked away, but ashes talk when you kneel to pray. Sometimes you kill for money, sometimes you kill to stop remembering. But regret, that one, it don't die. It just waits in the quiet. I had a girl once, soft as light, but I left her bed for blood that night. Said I'd be back when the world was clean, but the dirt stuck fast in everything. Now her letters sit like loaded rounds, unread truths and ink that drowns. She said, come home or come undone, but I only come with a loaded gun. Cigars, crosshairs, and quiet regrets. Living rooms the sun forgets. Smoking peace just to hide the sweat. His mercy fades like a broken cassette. Cigars, crosshairs, and dead we collect, with love in our sights, we still misdirect. I once held a child in a chapel pew, while his father's blood dried on my shoe. His mother saw, but I stayed still, 'cause even grief won't break the kill. They say forgiveness is a saint's reward, but saints don't carry iron swords. And me, I'm just a faded bed, a sinner dressed in cold regret. I don't cry anymore, but I choke on smoke, on names, on the silence before the shot. That's where I live now. I keep a photo in my chest of the man I was before the mess. Hat tilted low, dreams in hand, before I took my final stand. The crosshairs shake more these days, my fingers slower in the haze, but I still see the job through clear, even if it cost another year. I sat with death in a velvet room, trading stories beneath the gloom. He said regret ain't a wound, my friend. It's the silence after the end. So now I light, I aim, I breathe, but part of me don't ever leave. It stays behind in cigarette trail and weeps where every memory fades. Cigars. It's 3 a.m. and the ashtray's full. Lipstick on the rim of a glass half full. Bar light flickers like a faulty pass. Time runs slow and you're fading fast. The jukebox moans some forgotten name. She left with silence and a gun-shaped flame. I lit a match on my breathless stare, whiskey smoke and a loaded prayer. My suit's creased sharp like a broken valve. Blood on the collar still fresh somehow. Got sins in my pocket and truth in my boot. One last bullet if it all goes mute. They say a man ain't meant to cry, but I saw God blink when mama died. Since then I've slept with open eyes and prayed to ghosts in a stranger's skies. Ooh, whiskey smoking loaded prayers, hiding, hurting, folding chairs. Confession's cheap but guilt is dear, and heaven don't answer hitmen clear. To the air through whiskey smoke and loaded prayers. They say the barrel speaks in truth, but it don't return what it takes from you. I saw Tommy swing and Benny fall, then walked on shadows down that hall. I keep my vows in chambered steel, 'cause talk is dead and pain is real. And every click of that safety switch is one more sermon for the rich.
And that ain't kind, it's just quiet. And quiet's where guilt starts singing. You learn things in silence, like how a scream could wear a suit, or how God forgets your name when your hands ain't clean.
Met a preacher once in a poker room. Said mercy lives in a smoking tomb. He dealt me aces, I dealt him shame. He read my sins but forgot my name. A woman cried as the sirens bled. Her tears mixed in with what I said. If love was truth, then why'd she run? But truth and lies both weigh a ton. Ooh, whiskey smoking, loaded prayers. Shadows dance on broken stairs. Tell the devil I'll pay in shares. But I ain't leaving this world unscarred. Ooh, I'm just breathing smoky air through whiskey smoking, loaded prayers. Now my hand shakes, but my aim stays true. Learned that from a man in worn out shoes. He said, son, fear don't buy you grace. Then died with blood warm on his face. She left her ring on the barroom stool. Said, forgive me, like I ain't a fool. But I ain't mad, just made a war. And silence waits behind that door. Faint echoes, almost whisper. Loaded slow, breathing deep. Every memory's a hole you keep. Saints don't walk where killers sleep. Say your prayers before you weep. Now the whiskey's gone, just fire remains. And this old soul don't fear no flames. I've sinned in style, I've danced with loss. Put nails in dreams and wore the cross. But tonight I toast to every ghost, to every deal and double-crossed host. This life ain't clean, but hell ain't far, so I bless my sins in a dirty jar. Ooh, whiskey smoking, loaded prayers. Love and murder make cruel heirs. I'll be gone before the dawn declares. Just echoes left in velvet lairs. Ooh, don't search, I won't be there. Just whiskey smoke and loaded prayers.
There's a suitcase by the door. Same one I packed in '94. Still smells like old perfume and rain. Still whispers names I can't explain. I filled it once with hopes and maps. Now it's stuffed with quiet gaps. No clothes, no cash, no gold alliance. Just memories wrapped in cold defiance. The train left town with no goodbye. Just steel and smoke against the sky. I lit a cigarette with shaking hands, thinking of love I don't understand. She said, leave if your ghosts won't sleep. I said, baby, I'm buried too deep. Now this case rolls like a haunted hymn, full of voices fading dim. It's a suitcase full of silence, zip-tied with old defiance. No words inside, just sighs and dust, and stories sealed with broken trust. A suitcase full of silence, too heavy for escape, too quiet for violence. Photographs without a frame, letters signed but never came. A matchbox from that desert bar where I lost my name and gained a scar. That tie she bought I've never worn, too clean for the life I've torn. But it folds real neat next to regret. Folds don't scream, they just forget. You think silence is peace? It's the loudest damn sound when you're alone. Speaks and echoes, laughs in the dark, says your name in a language only guilt knows. The case creaks open in motel light, its secrets glowing faint and wide. I run my fingers through the dust, like touching bones that once were trust. She left a ring in the corner flat, wrapped in lace in a faded mat. I don't follow trails no more, but I trace that circle like a door. Suitcase full of silence, not a scream, not a single guidance. Just old receipts and bent out keys, and the scent of long lost melodies. A suitcase full of silence, still heavy, still mine, still timeless. I met a priest in a border town. He drank like sin and spoke like crown. He said, son, what ways you sow? I just smiled and let it go. Didn't tell him about the case I dragged, or the love I left in a satin bag. I just raised a glass to vanished time, and left my shadow with the ground. Some folks run from the law, I run from the sound. Some run from the gun, I run from the quiet. And this suitcase, it don't chase me, it waits. I've seen cities burn and kingdoms bend, but silence, that's the longest end.
'cause I ain't man enough to put it down. Suitcase full of silence, like a grave without a violence, like a kiss you meant to keep, but buried somewhere dark and deep. A suitcase full of silence, where every memory learns compliance. Now I'm older than the lies I told, and colder than the hands I hold. She wrote once more I never read, I just placed it with the rest and bled. If I vanish in the desert rain, tell him I died without a name, just a man in black with nothing left but a suitcase full of silent death. Suitcase full of silence, echoes locked in calm defiance. No bullets, no blood, no loud regrets, just weight I carry in silhouettes. A suitcase full of silence that speaks the loudest when I'm quiet. You ever pack so much quiet it starts talking back? They say what you carry defines you, but this thing, it reminds me. Midnight finds me in this chair, leather cracked like old warfare, whiskey low, hand on steel. The silence here is too damn real. My kingdom's dust, my men are gone. All that's left, this loaded gun, not for show, not for power, but for the truth in the final hour. I used to rule with iron charm, kept the wolves from sons and farm. My words were law, my smile a threat, but every crown collects its debt. Now I sit with ghosts in suits, they toast in smoke, black leather boots. I hear their voices in the walls, reciting names I watched fall. The dawn's lament, a final breath between regret and faithful death. One last bullet, one last vow. Tell me, Lord, what matters now? A kingdom built with blood and sin, but who remains to let me in? The dawn's lament, cold and still. At midnight's edge I lose my will. Piano plays down in the hall, same tune she sang in '94's fall. She said, leave before you disappear.
but I stayed, now no one's here. My sons chased gold I never touched. My brother's grave I never clutched. I held this empire in my fist, but every love I had I missed. This life don't end in glory, it ends in stillness. It ends with one shell and a name whispered once too loud. There's a photograph inside this desk, me in Rome before the mess. Wide-eyed boy with no idea that power feeds on deepest fear. The deals, the bribes, the velvet lies, they bought me silence, never skies. Now all my suits are stitched with grief, and every friend turned into thief. The dawn's lament, a whispered song, where right and wrong both don't belong. One last bullet, one last sin to pay for all I kept within. I tried to lead, I tried to reign, but all I built was masked in pain. The dawn's lament, soft and low, a shadow stretched by a candle glow. I used to fear no man with gun, now I fear the setting sun. Not for death, but what it takes to die with all your past mistakes. The ledger's full, the knife is clean, they're coming soon, quiet, unseen. I pour one more for names I knew, who died for codes that proved untrue. I was a lion, now I whisper. I was a king, now I kneel. I was legend in the dark, now I beg the light to feel. There's a letter in my coat, never sent, never wrote, addressed to God or maybe fate. It reads, I came too soon, I left too late. They say the streets will speak my name, but streets forget who fed the flame. Legacy don't weigh like gold, it weighs like breath you're scared to hold. The dawn's lament, the hour's last sound, where pride and guilt both wear a crown. One last bullet, cold and dry. Will it serve to live or die? I built a throne but not a home, and now I sit betrayed alone. The dawn's lament, fading true, a requiem in shades of blue.